40 minutes from now. I'll have a live report coming up.
And I'm Alex Fees, live on the east side of the arena, where the skies have cleared and we are apparently good to go for the demolition of a St. Louis landmark. Live reports up next.
Everything coming down today.
Word and all that history. Sad to see it go, but old things got to go sooner or later.
Piece of history, this piece of St. Louis is going to go by the wayside.
The St. Louis Arena has stood for almost 70 years. Tonight, it will come down in about 7 seconds. Good evening, I'm Kay Quinn. We are 40, not 20 minutes away from the last blast at the arena. The charges are set. It looks like the weather's cooperating. The St. Louis Arena is about to become history, but there is a delay. And we start our live team coverage of this big event in St. Louis history with News Channel 5's Jeff Fowler, who is at ground zero. Jeff?
Well, Kay, you know, there have been 3 other building implosions in St. Louis, but none of those other buildings had the history or the memories of the arena. And that perhaps is why hundreds, if not thousands of people have been coming down here for hours to try to get a prime view to be able to see the last few minutes of the arena standing and then to see it come down. But we should tell you, and as you mentioned, there has been somewhat of a delay. Originally, it had been promoted that the implosion would take place at 5:20. That is now going to take place at 5:40. The reason for that, the primary reason, is the rainstorm that came through the St. Louis area late this morning, early this afternoon. The rain and the high winds and some hail slowed up the final preparations for the building, and so the time has been moved back to 5:40. We're told that's a definitive time now. There has been one other snag today. Some residents who live on the south side of the arena are in the safety zone for the blast. Some of them say they had been promised a VIP tent to be able to watch the implosion. When that tent wasn't there, some of them became very angry, went back into their houses and said they wouldn't be leaving. Some negotiations have been going on for the last several hours. Last we heard, the 5:40 time is still a go, but there may still be some negotiations going on the other side of the arena right now to get all of those people out of their homes. We'll have more on that just a little bit later in the newscast. Now, we want to tell you that the view you see of me now is not the view we're going to show you when the implosion takes place. What we want to do right now is go to a camera we have on top of Forest Park Community College, which is just across Oakland Avenue from me right now. That's the scene that you're going to see. That's the picture we will show you at 5:40 this afternoon when the implosion takes place. And as we have told you several times, the building will be imploded and will fall from south to north. That's left to right, as you're looking at that picture right now. We have more than half a dozen different cameras set up at locations to be able to bring you every possible view. One's over by Hampton Avenue. We actually have some cameras inside the building, which we will be able to show you after the implosion takes place, of the actual implosion as it looks from inside. Now, as I told you, there are thousands of people who have come down here to see this implosion. We want to take you now up above where we are right now to Chopper 5, give you a view of the traffic situation. There you see an aerial view of the arena and some of the people who have lined up, not only where we are, where some of the VIPs are here along Oakland Avenue, but also at several other viewing places south of the arena. Some are across over in Forest Park. There are just thousands. They started coming as early as 1:30 and 2 o'clock this afternoon. We should tell you we've had some problems here along Highway 40. Some people have stopped to get a last look. They pulled their cars off along 40 to jump out very quickly, take a picture, and jump back in. Police have had to chase them off. 5 minutes before the implosion takes place, Highway 40 will be closed off in both directions so that the implosion can take place. Jim Tuxbury is behind the camera. Tux, I'm going to try to get you to pan over if we can see. Let me get you to move just a minute here. Right behind me, that is, Jim, let me get you to pan over to here to show you that is a device that will actually cause the implosion at 5:40 today. Debbie Wingbermuller of South St. Louis was picked in a lottery. She will actually push down the plunger that will start the implosion. Again, we believe that will happen at 5:40 this afternoon. We'll have flares going up in the air to lead us up to the time when that takes place. Jim Tuxbury just showed you a shot of Debbie Wingbermuller. Again, you see an aerial shot of the arena. It has about 35 minutes left of life here on Oakland Avenue, and again, a huge crowd here to see this implosion takes place, and we'll be bringing it to you live again. The latest word we have is 5:40 this afternoon. We'll be back again in a few minutes with an update on the situation on South St. Louis and some other history about the arena coming up in just a few minutes. Kay, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Well, earlier this afternoon, the St. Louis area had some violent weather in the hour. Let's rejoin News Channel 5's Jeff Fowler live at the arena where the sun's shining. Jeff, it looks like the weather's going to cooperate.
Yeah, the weather really did cooperate. Unfortunately, it's right behind the heads of all the media people here, so it may be a little difficult to see us. Let's talk for just a minute about what you're actually going to see at 5:40 today. There have been charges put in all of the columns underneath the arena, the long steel columns that hold it up. And there will be a charge at the bottom. There will be a charge at the top of each of those columns. There will be 2 sets of explosions. The first set of explosions that you'll hear when this happens will be actually setting the delay system for all of the charges to go off. That'll take about 8 or 10 seconds. And Eric Spiritus of Spiritus Wrecking said yesterday, people will think, well, what went wrong? Nothing's happening. You'll have about an 8 or 10 second delay after those first explosions. Then there will be a second set of explosions. That will be the actual columns actually being imploded, and the building will fall from south to north in sections. He compares it to slicing a loaf of bread. One section at a time. The walls will come down, the roof will come down, and it'll fall that way. There should not be a tremendous amount of dust, we are told, with this explosion, simply because there's very little concrete in the building. It's steel and wood. And steel and wood, when they are imploded, do not create much dust, so it shouldn't cause a big problem. Obviously, the weather has cooperated. They were worried about a low ceiling earlier, that there might be a problem with the sound waves from the implosion. No longer a problem. We do have sun out here now. Now, we want to bring you up to date on the situation that we had earlier on the south side of the arena within the last couple of hours. And want to let you hear a little bit about some residents who were angry. They say they were angry about the setup that was made for them to be able to watch the implosion tonight.
You said it was going to be tent, you said it was going to be food for everybody that you're kicking out of their houses for this. And now you want to stand them out in the cold and the rain, is what you want to do.
No.
All right, some of these neighbors say they were promised a VIP tent, and when they didn't see it, some of them went back in their homes and they threatened not to come out. Now, they happen to be in the safety zone. They've got to be out of their homes for this implosion to take place. Joining me now is Eric Spiritus of Spiritus Wrecking to bring me up to date on what the situation is over there.
Everything's fine over there. Right now, what happened, some of the people came before the area was really open for them. And we gave them the whole Salvation Army building, actually. They have tables inside there where they have all the food, and it looks like everybody's in shape over there right now. So everything's been under control.
Now, some of them said that they had planned to be outside. There might be a tent outside for them. They were disappointed about that.
We didn't want to block anyone's view. If you put that up there that no one behind them could see, there wasn't a plan of that. But everybody seems to be happy right now, and we're moving towards the blast. We're going to be at about 5:40. That's our target time for right now. So I think the first blast is going to go off in a minute. I think there it is right there.
We just seen our fireworks, or our first flare. Eric, just so everybody's out of their homes now?
Oh, yeah. That's why, that's that signal. That means we're moving on target. We're 30 minutes away, and we're going to...
5:40 to go.
5:40 to go.
Eric Spiritus, thank you very much. That brings you up to date on the situation over there. He says everybody's out of their homes now, and everything is a go. We're looking at, well, right at 30 minutes. Now, my colleague Alex Fees is on the other side of the arena, on the south side, at one of the public viewing areas where people have been gathering for hours to get a prime spot to be able to see the implosion. Let's go now live to Alex.
Well, Jeff, as you heard, the first flare has been sounded off now. Those were scheduled for 30 minutes before the actual implosion, 15 minutes before, and then the last one will be 1 minute before the scheduled implosion. As you referred to, Jeff, this demolition has been postponed about 20 minutes, I guess it is. Now, as you mentioned, the weather now is beautiful. Obviously, this low cloud ceiling has cleared up. The sun has broken through, so the weather currently is not a problem. However, it sounds like the weather earlier today, the rain and the hail, even the tornadoes over on the east side and the St. Louis metropolitan area may have caused some problems as far as preparing this facility for demolition this evening is concerned. But I do not believe there are going to be any stays of execution for this grand old lady this late in the process. Now, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people here in the parking lot of St. Louis Community College at Forest Park this evening. There are many radio stations that are broadcasting live as we speak. All these people, there are as many cameras and camcorders this evening as there are people, as these folks want to turn out tonight and make sure they get a chance to record a little bit of St. Louis history as it is unfolding ahead of them. Now, joining me here now live this evening is Jim and Jenny Messmer. Jim and Jenny have been here very early this morning. We are looking at another live view. That is from on top of St. Louis Community College in the Forest Park location. Now, Jim and Jenny Messmer are here in the front row. They've been here since about 11 o'clock this evening. Obviously, this is very important to you folks.
Yeah, we've been going here for a long time. A lot of hockey games, a lot of season tickets, and it's kind of a sad thing about St. Louis. Sad sign of St. Louis when they're going to tear down a national landmark like this.
Even so, you guys want to be here to see it, huh?
Oh yeah, just kind of pay a last farewell, say goodbye.
You came at 11 o'clock. There was nobody here then, I'm guessing.
A few people paying their last respects. Not a whole lot.
Are you going to be here for the duration?
Yeah.
Oh,
So the roof collapses and the dust flies, huh?
Yep.
There you have it. All right, so Jim and Jenny Messmer amongst some of the hundreds or thousands of people here in the parking lot of St. Louis Community College at Forest Park this evening. Now, about, 5 minutes ago, we saw the first of 3 flares and fireworks that sounded off over the arena. We will be expecting the next flare probably at, about 5:25, I'm guessing, and then the last one at 5:39. That is, if this implosion goes according to their updated schedule, which is 5:40. There are choppers overhead, one of which is Chopper 5. News Channel 5's Chopper 5 will be bringing us a live view from way up top. That is the situation on what is now the future former site of the St. Louis Arena. I'm Alex Fees reporting live, News Channel 5.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Other than Eric and Arnold Spirit is probably the most nervous person here today, is with me right now, Debbie Wingber-Mueller of South St. Louis, who was chosen in a lottery, in a contest, to actually push the plunger. Tell me what you're feeling right now.
I'm excited, not too nervous. I was more nervous when it was raining, and ready to do it.
Now, did they take you down there a little earlier and show you inside the building?
Yes, we got to do an inside tour. I was probably the last non-worker to walk through, so it was kind of exciting, kind of sad.
When I came up here at 2 o'clock, I saw you standing out on the street. I said, are you nervous? You said, I'm real nervous. You look a little more relaxed now.
I am. I guess I'm beyond nerves. I don't know. I'll probably feel this about 9 o'clock tonight. I'll get the headache and the tension coming in, but no, I think I'm okay now.
You get the feeling you're a part of history today?
Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, I didn't really realize it, but when you start seeing all the media and all the people, and yeah, kind of exciting.
Great. Debbie Wingber-Mueller, thank you very much. Good luck. In about 25 minutes from now, she'll be pushing the plunger that's sitting on a table behind me, which will start the implosions here at the St. Louis Arena. We'll be back again in a few minutes, and of course we'll have the live pictures for you from a number of views from on top of Forest Park Community College, from Chopper 5, and from inside the building when the implosions take place. Reporting live from along Oakland Avenue, I'm Jeff Fowler, News Channel 5. Kay, back to you.
Now, Jeff, there's no indication that this will be delayed past 5:40, but if it were, I would think the worry at that point would be that we're losing daylight.
Right, they want to do this while the sun is still out. They're trying to give the best possible view. In fact, they tried to time it out while the sun behind us is not the best right now for us to do these live shots out here. They're hoping that the sun will be just behind the building so that when the implosion takes place, it'll provide a pretty view for all of the thousands of cameras that are out here to take a picture of this. But yeah, you're right. Once the sun sets about 6 o'clock, so they've got a little margin for error there. But as Eric Spirit said a few minutes ago, they're all go at this point for 5:40.
Now, what about the dust that this will raise, Jeff? I mean, is there any concern that there's a crowd very close to the huge dust cloud that we know is going to come off of this?
Actually, it's not supposed to be that huge, Kay. Here's what we've been told. All of the preparation work that went into going into the arena, there were some hazardous materials in there. There was some mercury, which you know is dangerous. They got that out. There was some asbestos in there. They got all of that out. And there was some oil inside. They had to clear all of that out. Basically, all you have is a shell here. What I'm told is most of the dust you see from many implosions comes from buildings that are made of concrete. When concrete is imploded, it creates a huge amount of dust. This building is steel and wood, and when it goes down, that doesn't create a lot of dust. You'll see some, but it will only be what is coming from what is actually the dust that's sitting on the side of the roof or sitting on the columns themselves. Shouldn't be a lot. They compare the noise that we'll hear out here to a loud shotgun blast. You'll hear a series of them. There'll be 10 blasts to set up the sequence and then 10 more blasts as the building comes down. But the dust you get really should not be all that significant from what we're told.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see. It's getting closer as the minutes tick down here. Thank you very much, Jeff Fowler, live from the site of the arena implosion that is scheduled again for 5:40 this evening. For generations, the St. Louis Arena was the place to go watch a circus, see a hot rod show, or cheer on the Blues. The old barn will be gone, but News Channel 5's Dan Gray reports 500 pounds of dynamite can't take away the more than 60 years of memories.
The arena first opened its doors in 1929, just in time for the Great Depression. By 1933, it was in receivership, labeled a Great White Elephant. A tornado blew off part of the roof in 1959, but the arena continued to survive on a diet of circuses, concerts, and minor league hockey. Its fortunes changed in 1967 when the Solomon family brought the Blues to St. Louis. But the arena and the Blues struggled. In 1977, the Ralston Purina Company purchased the Blues and the arena.
We did it for a very, very simple reason. We think this is a civic asset.
The arena got a new owner and a new name, the Checker Dome. Ralston is credited with making probably the single most important improvement to the building, installing air conditioning, making the arena a viable year-round facility. But Ralston had its share of bad luck, too. Fire destroyed the arena annex in 1980. A few years later, Ralston sold the Blues, and the Checker Dome became the arena once again. For many, it was a family ritual to pack up and head to the arena for the police circus or the fireman's rodeo. The arena was a place for culture. A place to see pop stars. And to see old movie actors hawking camping goods.
It's wonderful. Your national parks all have beautiful places to camp now.
And a place to see a movie actor turned politician.
We're not more prosperous. We're just handling more money.
But as the paint on the old barn faded, so did the arena's popularity. In the early 90s, its main attraction, the Blues, began looking for a new home. And in 1994, the Blues moved east to downtown St. Louis to a new facility. The gym that was once the arena just couldn't compete with the sparkling new Kiel Center. The arena's final offering to the public was a religious concert on September 2nd, 1994. The gospel music, perhaps a fitting memorial to the old barn. I'm Dan Gray, News Channel 5.
And the clock continues to count down. Coming up, the implosion of a St. Louis landmark. Well, this is a day many St. Louisans hoped they would never see. The arena will be coming down at 5:40, and we will take you back for many live reports before that time, and of course bring you the implosion of the arena live. But now we go on to some other news of the day. The Wright City School District in Warren County for 5:40, and we will take you back out for a live report coming up. Well, that's what the inside of the arena looks like right now, and boy, a far cry from, I'm sure, a lot of the memories that people have of that old building. Meteorologist Mike Roberts is here. It has been a wild weather day in St. Louis. We started out with Fowler, who is live outside the St. Louis Arena, the last 10 minutes of its existence, and Jeff joins us now with this report. Jeff.
All right, Kate, we have a few developments here. In fact, I'm standing with probably the most important person here. His name is Tom Dowd. He's with Controlled Demolition, Inc., and he's the guy, and his company are the ones responsible for actually setting the charges in there and actually timing this down to the explosion. Tom, you've been on the radio the last few minutes. Is there a chance we may go past 5:40?
We may go at 5:45.
And the reason for that is?
We're looking at some light considerations. We also having a big problem with the highway here on 40. I believe this is 40. And we've got big crowds to the south. Safety first is our policy, so we're not going to go until we've got a really firm, established perimeter.
So you've got to have Highway 40 here shut down, obviously.
Yes, sir.
And you might have to move some people?
We may have to move some people to the south. We've got a large area back there, and again, it's just a precautionary. We want to make sure that we've got a clear line of sight, 100% safety.
So how soon will you know exactly when the time will be?
Probably within the next 10 minutes.
So it's just a question of going over the perimeter again and finding out if everything is safe.
Exactly. We have a series of checks between our company, Spiritus, and the local police department.
You and I talked earlier that the plunger is behind us. You won't actually set the charge in the plunger until when?
About 5 minutes before.
And that wouldn't be until everything is clear and ready to go?
Everything's clear and ready to go, correct.
But other than possible 40 and crowd considerations, everything else is ready to go?
Everything else is beautiful. It's a beautiful, clear day.
You do this all around the country. Have you seen crowds like this before?
Yep. It's becoming more and more of a spectator sport, so we're glad that we can provide the entertainment. We just want to do it safely.
You seem to be having a good time out here today.
I love my job.
Very good. Tom Dowd, Controlled Demolition, Inc. He's the guy who's going to do the final countdown from 10 to 0 so that Debbie Wingbermuley can push the plunger and set the implosion of the arena. Again, we're looking at a possible delay of maybe 5 minutes We'll keep you updated as best we can, Kay, as soon as we get the latest. Reporting live from along Oakland Avenue, I'm Jeff Fowler, News Channel 5.
All right, the suspense builds. Thank you, Jeff. Coming up in sports, the arena hosted some of the best moments for St. Louis sports fans. Malcolm is next, and he will take a look back. And the Missouri top clubs make it back okay?
Well, they better make it back. Yes, they did, and we didn't play that much. We only played 16 after you brought it to everybody's attention.
You were busy down there. I saw you working.
Holes. That's right. We worked hard. We played a little golf. We had a little fun, a little sun, you know, give us a break. Well, folks, while we wait for the big boom, the Missouri Tigers were applying one of their own, called them Greedier Escape in the Gateway City. It's changed names several times, but the arena always stood for laying it on the line, be it football, absolutely, they played football there once, hockey, and basketball, and many others. The old barn always delivered. For more, we pull in Frank Cusimano in a newsroom. Frankie.
Well, Malcolm, tomorrow night on Sports Plus, we will go down memory lane and try to relive nearly every noteworthy sporting event in arena history. Everything from the Steamers being the talk of the town to the St. Louis Spirits being one of the jokes of the town. We spent much of this week looking at archive video and talking to St. Louisans who saw the historic games or played in them. Right now, here's a little appetizer. The greatest hockey game ever played at the Old Barn was the Monday Night Miracle in May of 1986. Blues 6, Flames 5.
Federico steals the puck from Reinhardt. Over to Hunter, who shoots block. Wickenheiser scores! Doug Wickenheiser! The Blues pull it off, and it's unbelievable. There'll be a 7th game.
I remember going out of the locker room. Probably 45 minutes, an hour later, there were still people standing in the stands cheering and clapping. They didn't want to leave the building. So, I mean, those are moments that you know, still send chills up and down my spine.
The greatest basketball game ever played at the arena happened in December of 1993. The bragging rights game. Missouri beats Illinois in triple overtime.
Bush bragging rights trophy. Again, it belongs to the Tigers. 3rd in a row for Missouri.
The greatest display of tennis happened in July of 1982. John McEnroe beat Mats Wilander in a 6-hour, 39-minute-long Davis Cup match.
I had my family there and watched several hours, went home for dinner, left my family at the building, and had my dinner and came back and watched the end of the match. It was just tremendous tennis.
The finest performance ever at the arena may have been Bill Walton in 1973. He made 21 of 22 shots against Memphis State and scored 44 points in the NCAA Finals. Everything about Walton and UCLA that night was perfect.
Well, Walton has these low-cut blue stripe Adidas. One of the stripes on it is the colors coming off. So one of the managers goes to get a type of tape which he thinks is close enough. Certainly it's not going to show up on television. Dick Enberg's not going to comment on it. The other manager says, no. It's a wrong color blue. Go get the blue that's adjacent to the color of the sharks in the game top. We can't take the field without it.
And tomorrow night on Sports Plus, you'll hear from people like Steve Stepanovich, Pat McBride, and maybe even moving Marvin Barnes as we say goodbye to the St. Louis Arena. I'm Frank Cusimano. Malcolm, back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Frank. And Kay, you know, you see some of that video and it still gives you chills. You heard Bernie talk about it, but good grief, I tell you what, there's a lot of things that happened in that building that people will never, ever forget, despite it being blown up in, what, 4 or 5 minutes.
They can't take away the memories.
Not at all.
Right. And we're going to go back to Ground Zero in just a moment. First, we take you high above it all for a traffic check with Rich Barklage. Let's see what's going on.
Thanks, Kay. We're looking down on Highway 40 right now. They shut it down in 2 places. Originally right at Kings Highway, but a bunch of traffic started stopping on their own right out in front of the community college. So they shut it down there also. That's on the westbound Highway 40 heading out towards Arena. Eastbound shut down right at Tam Avenue. This is right across from the zoo. I'm Rich Barklage over the arena, waiting for this to go off in just next few minutes. Back to you.
It's very close. Thank you, Rich. And let's check on the countdown to the implosion of the arena. Let's go back to News Channel 5's Jeff Fowler, who is at Ground Zero. Jeff?
Well, we got a lot of people down here. I'm down here with thousands of people with thousands of cameras, and we anticipate about 2 minutes away from the implosion of the arena. We will get one final set of fireworks that will go off at the 1 minute mark. At that point, they'll start taking it over back by the plunger. In fact, Jim Tuxbury is going to zoom into. That's the plunger that will actually set off the detonations. Debbie Wingbermuley of South St. Louis will push that plunger at, we are told, exactly 5:45, a little less than 2 minutes from now. Again, we will give you a number of views of the implosion. The main view you will see as it happens, if we can take that now, is from the top of Forest Park Community College. That's the view you're going to see in about a minute from now when the implosion takes place. Again, the implosion will go from your left to your right. That's from south to north. You'll hear one set of explosions. Those explosions will trigger the detonating system. Nothing will happen for about 8 or 10 seconds, and then you will hear a second set of explosions. That will be the actual columns being detonated, one segment at a time, and the arena will fall from left to right. I'm going to get down closer to the ground now. We're going to come back down to the area where the plunger is. We've just been told over a loudspeaker. That's Arnold Spiritus, by the way, the owner of Spiritus Wrecking Company, the founder, with the horn there. He just said 1 minute. The gentleman you see there with the dark blue sweater on talking in the radio, he is from Controlled Demolition, Inc. His company actually set the charges. He will count down from 10 to 0. And then he'll tell Debbie Wingbermuley there on your left to push the plunger and end the life of the arena. We'll let you hear it.
7, get to the plunger, get to the 5, 4, 3, get to the plunger, 5, fire.
You heard applause, you heard cheers, and by my watch, it took about 16 or 17 seconds to end 70 years of history from the St. Louis Arena. One set of explosions and then another, and flash bulbs. You couldn't really see all of those here, but every camera, thousands of them going off to record these last few minutes of history of the arena, which now lies in rubble. I'm turning around to try to get a look at some of the dust, which is moving to the east-southeast right now. In fact, a little more dust than we'd actually expected. From the explosion. Again, the implosion started a little later than we had anticipated because they needed to move some of the crowd back and close Highway 40. We're going to show you another view of it now. I'm not sure which view this is. Again, we have more than half a dozen cameras. This is going to be from Hampton Avenue. This is the view from Hampton Avenue as the implosion takes place. I'm told we have 5 different shots. This is from inside the arena. Now watch this. Clearly, at that point, the cameras we had inside were destroyed by the explosions that took place. Still an awesome view of what took place just a few minutes ago. Alex Fees, my colleague, is on the south side of the arena at one of the public viewing areas. He is already getting some reaction from people who watched the arena come down just a couple of minutes ago. Let's go live now to Alex.
Jeff, we are getting some reaction here. We are also getting genuine arena soot falling down upon these people. This is an emotional experience for many of the people here on the south side of Forest Park, St. Louis Community College parking lot. We got some folks here recording this thing, and they were having a difficult time. How are you guys doing?
All right.
What's the matter? What does this mean to you?
It just meant history, a lot of history, you know, from our city, and they just tore it down.
I saw you recorded the whole thing.
They're like our history anymore. We just tear down these buildings.
You recorded the whole thing and you were crying while you were doing it.
Yes, it's very emotional.
What about you guys? Let's go down the line here. What about you guys? You look like you're having kind of a difficult time with it too.
Yeah, it's just really hard to see something like that go down. It's a lot of memories.
What's going to go through your mind when you watch this on your own video camera later?
Probably the same thing's going through my mind now. Why didn't they just, you know, redo it and save it for future generations, you know. My kids are never going to see it.
You got it on videotape for them. So there you see it. That is the situation here. Man, this is really smoky and sooty. You know, everything, all this stuff is blowing eastward now, and we are here right in the midst of it. People are breaking up here. There was a cheer on this side, but as we've shown you here, a lot of these people who are recording this also had a very difficult time with the emotions of this incident. Now, these folks are going to be busy here kind of breaking this situation up as it goes. There was a little confusion there toward the end. As you know, the initially it was scheduled for 5:20, then it got moved back to, 5:45? Then we were told it might be 5:40, I should say. We were told it might be 5:45. So I think a lot of folks there right towards the end were a bit concerned about the possibility of missing it. However, now reporting from the east side of what will be known as the former site of the arena, I'm Alex Fees, News Channel 5. We're going to show you now a live picture of where the arena was. We have never before seen this view because it was blocked by what used to be known as the Checker Dome. Reporting live, I'm Alex Fees, News Channel 5.
All right, Alex, thank you very much for joining me now is Eric Spiritus of Spiritus Wrecking. Did it go like you wanted it to?
It went better than we could have planned. That roof came apart very well. We have a structure that's on the ground ready for cleanup. We're happy, very happy.
The amount of dust that came off of it about what you expected?
Yeah, if you remember some of the other ones, there's lots of dust in it, and it goes for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. This was a much smaller cloud, so we're very, very happy.
Eric, we moved it back to 5:45. I think probably the crowds had something to do with that.
Well, the Highway 40 was tough to shut down. Once we got it shut down, we gave it a couple minutes to make sure we were in target, and you have to pick a time when you're moving so quickly, and we picked 5:45 in the middle there, and we stuck with it, and as you can see, things went well, and I got to tell you, Neil Vogel, our project manager, Steve Gaines, the superintendent, these guys are sweating it. They're working in there every day, and they really feel good, and CDI did a great job. We're really happy.
Tell me what as the first detonations go off, what's going through your mind as the guy who's heading this up?
Well, it's that ghost image, that building does not fall while those detonations are happening, and you're saying, is it gonna fall? And you're waiting, and you're racing. Now, there's two strings in there that if for some reason the string breaks, it comes around another detonation cord, a primer cord. So you're not worried about that. And let me tell you something. When you got a team like this, you just don't make those mistakes.
Did it fall exactly the way you thought it would?
Right in the footprint, and it really broke up well.
How soon do you get out there and start actually working to remove the rubble?
Monday morning, we'll be separating, and we'll be moving on our charitable efforts to sell those bricks and seats.
Do you celebrate a little bit tonight?
Absolutely. We'll take a nice nap and catch up on some sleep.
Eric Spiritus, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it very much. Again, here's a little bit about what will happen now that the arena is down. Much of the rubble, the rubble that is not salvageable, will be taken over to landfills. We're told many of them are on the Metro East side. They've already arranged for that. You heard him talk about the bricks, about 10,000 bricks that they removed from the skirt of the arena will be sold to benefit Outreach St. Louis, a charity. Each brick will have a little inscription on it about the history of the arena. In fact, thank you, Kelly Hatmaker. This is what the bricks look like. They're very heavy, by the way. These will be sold and to raise money for Outreach St. Louis. And I'm going to hand that back to you, Kelly. Joining us from Outreach St. Louis, your name?
Rita Brum.
Rita, tell me how this project got started and exactly what you're going to do.
We had a meeting with Eric Spiritus when the arena was about to come down. Finally, the decision was made, and we knew so many people had fond memories of the arena that they would want a piece of it to save forever, and the bricks seem to be the best way. It's not too expensive. It's only $10. All the proceeds benefit Outreach St. Louis, so they'll stay right here for local charities in St. Louis, and we decided this was the way to do it. And starting on Monday at 9 in the morning at Spiritus, 951 North Skinker Parkway, people can go in and pay $10 for charity and get a brick. Perfect for a bookcase, don't you think?
They're a little heavy, aren't they?
They are a little heavy, but it's better than one of those seats that you couldn't find a place for in your living room.
All right, thank you very much. Let's hope a lot of people come out and get the bricks. All the money is going to go to Outreach St. Louis, a very worthy cause. Again, the rest of the rubble from the arena will be disposed of. The rubble that they can will be used to backfill the hole that's left behind there in the parking lot where the arena used to be. There you see one more shot of the implosion of the arena going down. I'd have to say we've got crowds of 5,000 or 10,000 people probably around who saw this. I'm taking it we're going to give you one more view. Again, this is from the roof of Forest Park Community College. Oh, we're not going to show you that view. Anyway, we have more coverage to bring you, more shots of the implosion of the arena. It went, as Eric Spiritus said, exactly as they had planned it. They are very pleased. A lot of cheers and a lot of smiles and some tears out here as the end of the arena has finally come. Reporting live from along Oakland Avenue, I'm Jeff Fowler, News Channel 5. Kay, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. We will, of course, have much more live coverage in our next half hour as News Channel 5 continues. We will be on the air with our newscast until 6:30 tonight. Stay with us. Jeff.
Well, one person, of course, we wanted to talk to after all this was over was the woman who pushed the plunger that began the implosion. That is Debbie Wingber-Muley of South St. Louis, who we told you earlier won the chance to do this in a contest. Tell me how you're feeling right now.
I'm getting back to normal. I have to admit, when I pushed it down, I was a little upset and nervous, wanting to make sure I did it on time, and then teary-eyed, I guess. Kind of sad to see something go, but
You felt pretty emotional after as it went down?
I have to admit I did. I didn't think I would feel that emotional, but yeah, it's sad to see something gone for sure, and it was.
Do you think the emotion was from purely missing the arena, or because you're the one who pushed down the plunger?
Everything. I think myself doing it and seeing something that I grew up with my whole life, you know, it's over now.
If you had to do it again, would you do it again?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been a really great experience. I love it. Yeah, you can put me on TV anytime.
You've become a media star, haven't you?
Yeah, for 2 days, yeah, something like that. So yeah, but I enjoyed it.
We have your daughters here behind you.
Yes, sir.
They think Mom's a star too?
Yeah, sure. Oh, they're talkers. Yeah, they've been supportive, keeping me going and everything like that, so it's been fun.
Debbie, thanks for being so nice. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Debbie Wingber-Muley of South St. Louis, who pushed the plunger that started the implosion. You've been seeing some more views of this, I think. I believe we have the, and I'm not sure which view that was. If we have the aerial view from Chopper 5, if we've already shown that, tell me in my ear. I'm told we'll have that in just a minute. Let's go now over to Alex Fees, who's on the south side of the arena right now, where many of the people who came to watch this, he's with them right now. Alex?
Well, Jeff, the situation we have here on the south side of St. Louis Community College at Forest Park is that all of a sudden people are rushing towards the arena site. This happened about probably 45 seconds ago. I don't know, frankly, if police here have authorized this. All of a sudden everybody just kind of broke through the barriers and they're rushing to that pile of rubble that used to be the St. Louis Arena. Now, we were in the process of interviewing people here and getting their reaction to it. I don't know if police have another barricade set up here or what is the case, but all of a sudden the masses that were camped out here on the south side of St. Louis Community College at Forest Park have rushed toward this pile that used to be known as the St. Louis Arena. As you can see now, they've moved up about probably 300 feet or so closer, and I don't know if these people are hoping to get a brick or what is the case, but that's the situation now. I'm Alex Fees reporting live, News Channel 5.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Again, the arena in a pile of rubble behind us. We're going to try to get you some better shots of that in the next half hour. But many of the thousands of people here who came are now filing away with some memories on video and on their cameras, and they can say they were here when the 70 years of memories from the arena fell into a pile of dust here along Oakland Avenue. We'll have more coming up at 6 o'clock. Reporting live from Oakland Avenue, I'm Jeff Fowler, News Channel 5. Kay?
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And, of course, much more ahead on News Channel 5. We will be with you until 6:30 tonight. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Fire!
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. It took just seconds to bring down a piece of St. Louis history. Tonight, the St. Louis Arena is nothing more than a big pile of rubble. We have team coverage on the implosion of the St. Louis Arena, beginning with News Channel 5's Jeff Fowler, who joins us live from Ground Zero. Jeff?
Okay, you know, I've covered a lot of things in this occupation, and this was the first time I'd ever seen a building implosion. It was really something to see. In the next couple of minutes, we're going to show you several views of the implosion. Again, it started about 25 minutes later than they had planned, first because of weather, second because of getting the crowds back. But then once it went very quickly, 15, 16 seconds. Right now, we're going to go up above to where we are now to Chopper 5, I'm told, who are over our heads right now. This is the shot from Chopper 5 when the implosion took place, again, right at 5:45 this afternoon. We'll let you watch it. It went exactly as they had planned. Again, they went from south to north in sections. They didn't want it all pancaking down, flattening on the ground, and make it much more difficult to retrieve all the rubble. One set of columns and another. Now you're going to see a slow motion video from a camera that was actually inside the shell of the arena when the detonations took place. You'll see in here that they'll only get about a third of the way done. We'll lose the picture, at least the first time we saw it we did. That's because our cameras went out with the explosions too, we believe.
They let me out of the home yesterday. What school is that, Webster?
And there our cameras went out. Now we're going to show you a slow motion from Hampton Avenue. This is a view from Hampton Avenue. Again, this has been slowed down. Really, the inside picture, I think, gives you the best, really gave you the best view of how they wanted this to come down. They wanted the roof to come off in sections. That roof was made of cedar timbers. You know, some of that roof was destroyed in a tornado 40 years ago, had to be replaced. Difficult to find those timbers. They didn't want all those timbers pancaking down, and you could see on the inside view how the back section of the roof falls first, then another section, exactly as the demolition experts had wanted. Joining me now, I think, Guy Phillips from Y98 FM, who was sitting right next to the plunger. Ooh. Guy, you've been in this town a long time. Tell me what you thought about this.
It'll be 20 years next week, as a matter of fact, Jeff. You know, I was probably one of the most acerbic guys on the air about the implosion, and I thought it was time for the arena to go. But when it happened, it was, it took my breath away. It really was. It was because I have so many good memories from in here.
You talk to a lot of people on the air every day. Were you surprised by the amount of emotion that many people had about the arena?
Yes, I was. As a matter of fact, I've gotten some emails of people saying, you know, it was just more than a building to us. It was, you know, they brought their families there. There were people that went to special events there, the McEnroe tennis match that set a record, and I was amazed by the number of memories that started to come out of this building.
Guy, thanks so much for coming by. We appreciate it very much. Guy Phillips from Y98 FM. Again, a really awesome sight here at 5:45. The arena went down, and the, well, I'd say 5,000 or 10,000 people who may have been here with their cameras to get a picture of the implosion are now starting to file away. Highway 40 is now open in both directions. And, of course, we'll give you continuing coverage and every view possible of the implosion of the arena throughout the evening and, of course, tonight at 10 on News Channel 5. Reporting live along Oakland Avenue, where the arena used to be. I'm Jeff Fowler, News Channel 5. Kay, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And News Channel 5's Alex Fees was with a group of arena watchers. He joins us now live from Forest Park Community College. Alex?
We're going to show you now what the situation looks like, whereas Jeff just alluded to where the arena used to be. As you can see, we can even see part of Deaconess Hospital now. That has never before happened from this location in history. Now, the people who rushed up to the scene here did not waste any time in just getting a glance and leaving. They're pretty much dispersing now at this point. So, you know, these folks don't waste any time in getting out of here. In fact, they're already breaking down the police barricades and such. A lot of people are still very emotional about this, and it seems kind of ironic at this late hour, still people complaining about the fact that they didn't think this should have happened. They're still talking about an aquarium and things of that nature. But so this is a chopper view of the implosion taken from chopper 5. You can see that the fireworks going off, and as the building collapses from the south to the north in sort of a domino effect, you can see the smoke and dust it created. Now again, there were hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching it. This is the view from the inside. I wonder if those cameras that recorded this for the local television stations are at all salvageable at this point. And there we have it, the last moments of the St. Louis Arena. And again, as Jeff referred to earlier, that's when the cameras were destroyed. Here's a view from outside. This looks like it is taken from the northeast, I believe. Did not waste any time in bringing this structure to the ground. Now, this is the situation. Again, we are live here in the south parking lot of St. Louis Community College at Forest Park. Frank, let's show these folks over here in this chair. These folks, these are some chairs that were taken from inside the arena here. They brought the chairs to the parking lot to watch the implosion. Kind of an ironic twist of fate here. Now, these chairs have been, there are a couple others they were telling me about that are stored in some college dorm room somewhere in the area. So, the crowd is breaking up here. The arena stands no more. I'm Alex Fees reporting live, News Channel 5.
Much, Alex. Thank you for that report. And as you've been seeing, the implosion was an incredible sight. A very dramatic picture of the arena coming down, and what followed, a great cloud of soot and a lot of tears. And of course, all of us have our own memories of that special event or favorite concert at the arena. Some of the great acts of all time rocked the old barn for more than 20 years. Deanne Lane takes a look back.
When musical acts took Oakland Avenue by storm, many of them didn't know where they were playing.
These acts would come in and say, well, we're playing the arena, right? So, no, the Checkerdome. Checkerdome Arena, you know, they can sure change the name of this building, but they just can't change the acoustics. The arena just never had proper acoustics for doing shows. It just wasn't built for that.
But if you were in the seats cheering one of those shows, chances are it didn't matter. Irv Zuckerman and Steve Shankman of Contemporary Productions brought the big shows to the arena for more than 20 years.
Grateful Dead, I mean, think of some of the greatest concerts of ever.
Not that Cher would fit that bill, but at the time it was certainly something St. Louis was talking about.
Cher, yes, matter of fact, Cher was here at the arena the same night that her ex-husband at the time, Allman, was down at Kiel. And there we are in the dressing room. It was like, I guess she's not going to leave the show early to go catch his show.
But who could forget this show in 1984 as the Boss brought down the house? One of Shankman's favorite stories of the old barn has nothing to do with rock and roll. Something about a guy by the name of Willie Nelson.
Willie's bus driver is coming down to the building and decides to make a turn where a policeman said, you can't turn here. But the driver didn't care. He's the act. So he pulls back, and they literally have him out of the bus, and they're talking about arresting him. Now, this is backstage, and Willie's going, they arrest him, I'm not going on stage. So it was George Peach, remember George, Buzz Westfall, I believe, was there, Mayor Shamel, my attorney, the company's attorney at the time, and we held court backstage, and got the charges dismissed before Willie had to go on.
Deanne Lane, News Channel 5.
Well, there is no rush hour this afternoon, but traffic has been moving slowly on Highway 40, and let's get it.